Hi, everybody. Welcome to the You May Be Right Mastermind group. My name is Jackson, your host. We're coming from the studio, which is my apartment, where we have somebody cutting grass outside. But we're filming anyways. Today we have two wonderful guests, Devin Greene and my buddy Melvin Correa. So let's get into it. We're going to start with you, Devin.
Okay.
How you doing, man?
Throw me into the fire. I'm ready.
Throw you into the
Devin
fire.
the dude.
This is what we're going to do. Pretend you hopped into an Uber and there's a producer that manages whatever you do, and give him the LA pitch. Like, who are you? What do you do? You can use that camera or that camera.
Okay, I'll use both.
And just tell everybody who you are. Yeah.
I'm Devin Greene, a stand-up comedian, video producer, podcast host, writer, sort of a master of all trades, or amateur of all trades, attempting to be a master. But my primary goal is to start a production company called Team Friendship. And we shoot documentaries, we shoot sketches, we shoot live road comedy videos. We're trying to show the DIY process of coming up, because I feel like the process of having made it is very documented, but the process of making it in an entertainment industry is not. So I'm interested in all that.
That's dope, man.
Powerful.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so more importantly, what are the three characteristics in your inner group that you want to be remembered by when you pass away?
Okay, I would say number one is a sense of community, and I know that requires the whole group. It's not really a quality you have, but I think you can exude that. I want to be somebody who's not only an individual, but who's creating a tribe. I think our generation got a lot right with technology and individual achievement, but we've completely lost our ability to connect with others in a meaningful way. And so I want a team. I want a tribe,
I feel the leadership from you.
Do you want to be the leader of the team?
I do now.
Okay.
If you asked me a year ago, I'd say, no, it's somebody else. But I've sort of embraced the fact that my particular skill set lends itself to reaching out and to understanding people's emotions when they're feeling like things are getting out of hand. I've had a lot of emotional relationships growing up that I had to navigate. So, and growing up a year ago, I had an emotional relationship.
You've gained the tools.
Okay, so you want to be a part of a community, possibly leader of the community, but that's not
Definitely
most
leader.
important. And what else? What other trait?
So the other traits would be hard work. I really respect discipline. I fucked off. Can we curse?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
I fucked off for a long time, and I got a lot of great stories out of it. But my biggest insecurity is that I always wasted a lot of time. And so discipline is something I want to be remembered for. My dad was remembered for hard work more than anything. And I think that's what sticks with people.
Tight.
Number three.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. Community.
Number three would be fearlessness. Because my favorite artists are people who are willing to, I think it was Patrice O'Neill who said, you have to be willing to take the L to tell the truth. L for people who are white, meaning loss. So I always want to be doing something where I could be taking the L if it doesn't go well, because that's what's interesting to me.
Oh, that rhymed very
Thank you.
masterful.
There we go, man. Okay,
mastery
so
right now.
before we get into your stuff, we're going to have you provide value to the group. So what's one tactic or habit or some sort of life hack that you've been using in the last few weeks that you want to provide to the group that's been really, really helpful for you in your life?
Okay, just so I don't reiterate the community point, I think that's number one. If you have a goal and somebody else has the same goal, when you come together, it's not 2 times, it's 4 times, 8 times, 10 times. Like, something about collaboration helps you stay the course. But the one I've been thinking about more recently is focus. So I, like probably you both, I want to get in shape. I want to start the podcast. I want to...
That's all the normie stuff.
Yeah.
Like, what's the real shit? That's all normie stuff.
Well, the real shit is picking one thing and developing that in sort of a Joe Rogan style capacity where you develop mastery and then you move on to the next thing. So instead of trying to do everything at once, right now I'm focusing on security, which means starting a business that will allow me to do video and get paid for it. Once I do that, I can move on to community.
So focus on single tasking.
Single task.
Yeah,
like
once
it.
you master one thing, you gain the tools to be able to master other things.
Yeah.
Because you know what it takes, you know how to get there. Like that chess player, he was like a high level chess player, became a high level jiu-jitsu
Josh
competitor.
Whiteskin.
Yeah.
Yeah. He co-owns the New York Jiu-Jitsu school with Marcelo Garcia.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Once you master something, you can take those same tools that you use to get to one spot and just switch them up and start poking people in another direction.
That's what Joe Rogan talks about too,
Yeah, man.
right? Where he thought he was only going to do stand-up and he single tasks. But then the moment you have all the skill set to be successful, once you transfer to something else, it's not a big deal because you're kind of the man at that point.
Yeah, man. Like, it's the same reason a lot of NFL tight ends were college basketball players because it transcends.
This guy, Zach Brown, at my school, he was like a freak athlete, like a LeBron James type. Every sport he did, he was just the best at it.
Oh,
because he developed those principles.
Here's a big bad
genetically.
dude. Yeah, you just wake up in the 5th grade, you're 200 pounds with abs. It's crazy. Still trying to get there.
First guy to get the beard got laid first. First girl to get the boobs.
Damn,
Same
dude.
thing.
Still can't grow a beard. I get it. Damn. I wish I was him.
Me
tell
too.
him that. Tell him add me on Facebook. Shout out to what's it, Zach Brown?
Zach Brown.
Zach Brown, shout out to you, man. Add me on Facebook.
Playing for the Ravens right now.
Oh, respect.
Shout out Zach Brown.
All right, man, let's get into it. This is the fun part.
Okay.
What is something you've been struggling with, something that you're trying to work through that we can all talk about?
So in the Mastermind group, we've discussed this as well. I went through a ton of life changes all at once. A lot of people know this. Life doesn't just knock on your door. It bursts through it and then inundates you.
When it rains, it pours, buddy.
Exactly. That's a shorter, more succinct way to say it. So, I'm going through an relationship changes and job changes. I was canned from a job for putting onions on my eggs. I don't feel the need to explain that. Just let that ferment in whatever way it does. And my Airbnb, I was no longer able to have guests in. So it was sort of like, okay, you got a little bit of money and you got to figure a lot out. And one of the things is people are so afraid of those moments that they don't take a lot of risks. But if you've fallen on your face enough times, maybe because you're an addictive person or because you're trying really hard, you're striving, you learn early on that the fall actually leads to a period of a huge growth.
Right.
So I would say my struggle now was to find out what I wanted to actually do and commit to it rather than using the security of a job or a relationship or any of these other things to sort of make you feel content when you're really not actually doing what you were born to do. When that little kid said, what do I want to be when I grow up? I try to stay in line with that, and I got a little far afield. So
you got a combination of like having things ripped out of your life.
Yeah.
So it feels like this big turbulent, chaotic time.
yes.
And you're trying not to like fall back on your instinct of finding safety. So you're
Old
trying
habits,
so you're trying really, really hard to stay like at that place where you're taking risks and you're growing and you're doing exciting and fun things without reverting into your old bullshit.
Correct. And maybe I can clarify the problem with that. What's difficult about it, it's not all easy. It's not just like life happens and then you grow. The difficult part is I would say kind of the shame that comes with not performing as high as you want to. So when everything gets pulled out from under you, you have to practice patience right away. And I feel an intense shame if I'm like not on all the time. And sometimes that can prevent you from attempting because you think you're not ready. So that was a little mumbo jumbo, but I think the point is
That paralysis by analysis.
exactly with the one-liners.
Melvin's
my translator.
I'm actually a sidekick. I go with him everywhere, and I'm just here to all of you earthlings can't handle his no-nos.
If you get exhausted by all those words, Melvin over here has a tweet for you in his mouth.
Yeah.
So yeah, just figuring out that it's okay to not be good right away,
Right.
but to still have faith that you're going to go somewhere huge,
Right. So just having, oh my God.
He's right out the door.
Yeah, that thing
Let's
is
invite him into the
serious, bro.
podcast.
How's the sound over there, Matt? It's just fucked.
Right now.
Okay.
Ask him what his goals are.
Should we bring that guy in?
Is weed whacking a metaphor that we could build on?
There's got to be a metaphor there.
Yeah.
It's like
There always
is. These things that make you want to stop doing what you need to do. This podcast are always knocking at the door, and you can either succumb to that.
I'm so glad you're here. I wanted to cut and wait for 10 minutes.
You can either
but
succumb
no,
to that,
We're gonna
or
double down. We're gonna
you
get
can-
through this.
You can buckle down and keep pounding, dude.
That's right. This is the noise of life. But I do
Cool,
think
man.
I do think Melvin's right in pointing out that like when you're going through a change, you have to reanalyze everything. I have a chart here that I put on the back of a piece of paper about the new meaning
see
of
that?
life.
Oh,
I built my own Maslow's hierarchy because everything I took for granted had to be reconsidered. And there was a lot of noise of should you do what you used to do? Should you do something completely different? And so you got to take a period to just sift through the noise and figure out what direction you're going.
Shout out to Aubrey Marcus. I've been listening to his podcast a lot lately, and since a lot of people don't know this, if you don't know Aubrey Marcus, he recently got in a car accident, got a piece of metal stuck in his face. Yeah, so he literally looks completely different. He's always hurting. And
metal mouth.
It's really easy. Yeah, old metal mouth. It's really easy to get stuck in a mindset of like, why is this happening to me? But you are going the opposite direction and think in your head, these things are happening for me. All these turbulent things in my life are stirring things up. It's not happening. It's not happening to my detriment. It's happening to help me get to where I need to go. It's one thing to help push me out of my comfort zone, which is not letting you go where you want to be. Because like we all could just cuddle with the same girl every day, all day, and be
Netflix
happy, and like live a regular life in the middle of Idaho, or you could challenge yourself and run around and do the things you need to do. If you have a mission, if you have a goal, if you have just something to work towards, you know. And like you said, you are looking forward to it. I don't want to spoiler alert, but I'm also looking for what I'm trying to get to at. But it's one of those things.
Those are all really good points.
Yeah.
And like I like to talk about it where anytime I'm unhappy, it's my fault, which is kind of a more negative way to put it. But like whenever my life isn't where it needs to be, it's not because some person, place, or thing outside of my control is doing that to me. It's just because my blueprint, my filter of the world's fucked up.
Yeah.
And I think Tony Robbins talks about it. He says that like there's something incredibly powerful when something fucked up happens to you to say, thank you, God, for this challenge. Thank you for this opportunity for me to grow and expand and become a better person because it's hard.
Yeah, man.
And I kind of get that. Like I've had the most growth in my life when I'm in the most emotional pain. So like a giant breakup. Like when somebody's fucked up in a giant breakup, I'm kind of like envious of them in a really fucking weird way.
I want to know
like
the
I'm really
statistics.
jealous of like what they're going through because in the next 6 months they're gonna have this really beautiful transformation and learn a lot about themselves.
I want to know the statistics on weight loss after breakups.
Oh, and like financial gain.
Weight. I want to know like the total poundage of weight loss within like 2 months of a breakup. Because it has to be insane.
Yeah,
because
for
everyone
sure.
wants to get in shape, but most of you so they can start fucking. But like, but it is like people just want to feel better, and they have to find something to hold on to.
So let's go into the breakup stuff, man. Are you actively dating? Are you getting yourself back out there? Are you taking time for yourself? Because I think both are right, depending on how you want to handle it.
I definitely went the route of taking time for myself.
Okay.
And I think what you were saying is very true. When you're in a comfortable position, whatever it is, and you know the metaphor can extend to a job. I had to leave a job to come out to LA that was really good, and I could have built into something
For sure.
But when you're not in that secure position, all of a sudden you have to look at yourself and go, nobody wants me right now, except for my mom. I've been talking to my mom a lot, you know, but like nobody wants you just as a person, and you have to come to that unsettling realization that I need to be the person that would inspire me in order to inspire other people. And you don't have the choice because if you don't do it, you're alone, you know? So I think that's part of what gives it the urgency of like, should I get out and do an open mic today? Should I do that video I've been talking about for 6 months? You don't have a choice now because no one cares until you do it, you know?
Right.
Yeah, when you have that mindset where it's like, it's either I do this or I die. It's either I do this or my whole world crashes down around me. And it's like, when it stops being a choice, it's honestly, you get happier. Like, like a lot of times, like when because like a lot of humans really struggle with choice. A lot of times choice just stresses people out. Do I choose this? Do I choose that? When you take away those options and you say, I have to go to the gym right now. That's my life. That's what I do. If I have to, I'm like, oh, well, got some donuts there. Well, it's not in my diet. I'm not going to do it. When you make those decisions to just completely cut those out and that's your life, all of a sudden your life gets a little bit more monotonous, which isn't my favorite thing, but you do a lot of times get happier.
That's something Tim Ferriss talks about too, is like almost all of our decisions in life are easily reversible decisions.
Yeah.
So like say today, right now, you want to go into the film business. Like once you set up the business, I don't know what it costs, like $1,000 or something like that. If you have a change of heart in 4 months, it doesn't fucking matter. You can change your mind. And I think the most important thing when you're in that like really painful, uncertain place where you're not sure what you want to do, you just got to give yourself 20 minutes and then fucking choose. Yeah. And that's what Tim Ferriss talks about. He's like, just choose and recognize that you can change your mind down the line, and that's okay.
And honestly, like I know all of you guys. If for some reason Tim Ferriss talks about in 4-Hour Work Week is worst case scenario, and like literally you take the worst case scenario, right? You go for it. You take a risk with a business. You lose all your money. You lose your home. You're homeless. I could get out of that. You could get out of that. You could get out of that. Yeah, I'd keep my subscription to the gym, shower there, work, save money, probably buy a shitty car, sleep in it, and I'll just do that until I can get a house.
I already do that. In Santa Barbara, 4 or 5 days a week, I'm showering at the gym at 24 Hour Fitness. I have to go to the gym, so I fucking work out 5 days a week. And I make a lot of cool friends in the showers. A lot of real sad, lonely dudes that need a friend, and I'm there for them.
Monster hogs, though.
I go to a big gay gym in West Hollywood, and for us, it's the sauna. Just like
you guys all hang out in the
sauna,
sauna,
dude? The sauna is really helping my ego.
That's fun.
I still,
to this day, man, I hang out in West Hollywood. I go out to the bars there. No free drinks, man. People talk about this as in paradise, man. I guess I can't. It doesn't work out for me on Tinder. It doesn't work out for me in West Hollywood.
You need the
ladies.
door code.
I don't know. You guys don't know what you're missing. Men in West Hollywood, you don't know what you're missing.
Okay, so I don't know if we've helped you at all.
No, for sure. I mean, this group itself and the accountability was huge. Because I do tend to live for myself, but also for other people. And when people who you've lived for are taken out of your life, and you have a group like this to fall back on, it really fills the void.
Mm-hmm. And there's something about just getting the spark. Just like we're going to do a little accountability list for your business or whatever the hell you want to accomplish in the next few weeks. Mm-hmm. And just getting that spark of having friends that know about your goals and ambitions is enough. Like it's kind of nice when you have like the guilt trip of knowing your friends will give you shit if you don't do it to keep you moving.
It's a commitment device that actually works.
Yeah, it really helps.
Because the social impulse in us is so strong. Like we can't do anything alone.
Yep. So you want to do it? You want to get into some accountability?
Sure. Yeah, let's do it.
Are you ready for this?
Alrighty, Devin.
Count for me.
What do you want to get accomplished? Let's say in the next month. Let's do semi-short term.
Okay. I will tell you, so semi-short term for this business, basically I work for a lot of gig economy jobs like TaskRabbit, Airbnb. These allow me a lot of flexibility, but those hours I'm spending there aren't helping me in my goal. So what I'm trying to do is get a bunch of clients, small to medium-sized businesses, and shoot promotional videos for them. Maybe depending on the client, there's an element of sketch, which I've been working on. Okay. Maybe it's just a documentary. But I want to build up a client base where I can be not only doing the video, but delivering the video and getting paid for it 2 times a week. Because that would be my bare minimum for paying my rent on a minimalist level.
So you're going to do 2 promotional videos or 2 pitches to people a week?
Oh, well, in the short term, in the next month or 2, I'd like to have 2 clients a week because the goal with the money that's coming in would be to lower the amount of time I'm actually working.
So 2 clients a week on average. So like maybe focus on the pitches and let the 2 client a week average happen as it happens.
It's outcome oriented. You're right.
Yeah. So maybe more process. Like how many pitches could you make this upcoming week to people to try and get these jobs?
Also, something I'd like to ask you. Ask myself this every once in a while when I try to get it, really look at myself. Is one question I ask myself a lot is why am I making money? Like, of course, there's like paying rent, right. Of course, all that stuff. But like, what are you really making all this money for? Or shooting these commercials what you want to do with your business? Because that's something you have to think about too. Because it's really easy. We're talking about getting comfortable. It'll be really easy to make enough money to have a good life shooting commercials. But will you be fulfilled from it?
I think my model is Jim Henson. Okay, you know not Muppets, but he did like Fraggle Rock, and he's considered sort of the artist of children's entertainment. And I read some article with him a while ago where he mentioned how a lot of artists only want to do what feels authentic. You know what I mean? So they make a shitty album that no one would want to listen to because it's real to them. But the artist that maybe works for, commercial soundtracks and gets experience is frowned upon. So Jim Henson is the model of someone who started in the commercial space, developed all these skills, built all these clients, but was able to infuse his creativity into it and actually turn it into something that he owned by the end.
I think it's really important to not be too precious. I think and there's a lot to learn from making stuff that other people enjoy that might not specifically be your cup of tea. And I think that's, you see that with The Godfather, I think, what is his name? Coppola? I don't think he doesn't like gruesome, bloody things. And I feel like The Godfather wasn't like his passion project, but it became one of the best movies of all time. And I might be misremembering, but he genuinely didn't care about that project as much as you would think.
Maybe that freed him to get out of his own head about making it perfect and say, it's not even my idea of a good project. And by lowering the expectations he had for it and by taking it away from the personal project to a client project, you actually get out of your own way and you make some really interesting choices.
And that being said too, it's like one thing that I've come to with me is like a lot of times like I think about because it's like doing what I do to make money, that's not like my passion, but that money can help me get to a place where you can do your passion, where you can figure out what you want to do, and that money gives you freedom to do what you need to do.
And I could tell you what my passion is.
Great.
You want to wait till
that's something I feel like we're missing.
No, tell us about your passion, but I'm going to reset all the cameras.
Okay.
And then we'll get into your passion.
Cool.
All right,
Reset.
Tight. Okay, so what is your passion?
All right, so the question was, what is all this, developing this business that's not really your passion project, how's that going to feed into your passion projects?
Right.
My passion eventually, and I've thought about this a lot, we all have so many models that we could do, but when you find that one model that you're staying up all night watching their work and you can't stop, that's the one you're supposed to go for. And it's a little obscure, but there's a documentary filmmaker named Louis Theroux, and he's from Britain. He's on the BBC channel, and he's basically a very deadpan filmmaker who goes to the craziest places. He lived with the Westboro Baptist Church. He's followed the prison system, sex cults, all sorts of weird stuff. And he does a gonzo approach. So gonzo journalism was invented by Hunter Thompson, who was a colleague of my dad's. So I grew up with these two journalist heavyweights in my house. And you can imagine how shitty that made me feel about whatever I was working on. But the idea stuck that I want to bring back journalism in a way that's compelling and interesting and does, going after big stories in a human way. And his approach, which is, he's not taking any sides. He's not here to tell you, hey, how did you feel when you did this, which resulted in this? He's just getting to know you and building trust, but he's also very funny. And I haven't seen a documentary filmmaker, except for maybe Morgan Spurlock, who's really emphasized comedy in documentary. So I would like to find just the weirdest people. I love people and live with them. I mean, honestly, like your job can become an excuse to do sort of strange taboo behaviors, like live with a couple for a week, or go to a war zone, or visit
be a telemarketer in India.
That's not on my short list, but I'd like to do a documentary on telemarketers.
Should we put that on the list?
You guys just give me goals,
I'm here for you guys.
So you want to be a documentary filmmaker
with comedy at the center of it, and me performing the documentary. In other words, you as a viewer get to experience this unique situation through my perspective. Yeah. Bit like Bourdain.
You're going to put a different lens on it. What Bourdain did to food is what you're going to do to documentaries. You're going to you're going to reinvent it.
And you're doing that right now? You're actively doing it?
Yeah. Okay. So we make short documentaries on artists.
Let's make a goal around that. If that's your ultimate passion,
that's way more fun.
That's way more fun than commercial shoots.
Because that's what I wanted to get us at.
Let me push back a little bit though, because I want to go to my meaning of life pyramid real quick. One of the reasons why
if you go on the website, we'll post that on the website.
It'll be in the show notes. A shitty Polaroid.
That's not true. I don't have a website. There's no show notes.
I'll teach you about Wix.
Yeah.
But just Just to push
Any
back.
sponsors you want to mention that we don't have?
Yeah.
Let's get
Yerba mate. Yerba mate.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. We were sponsored.
this isn't your mate. It's
shout out to
Diabolo.
our former podcast, the Derelict podcast. We were sponsored by Kharkov, but since that stopped, we lost our sponsorship. But Kharkov Derelict podcast might be coming back in a big way. Little teaser for our you lick fans.
I hope to be on the Derelict podcast one day.
I'm down. It's basically this, but 1,000
But all
times
me.
more aggressive.
It's my piece of this podcast just for the entire thing.
I dig it.
We're super good at talking about nothing for 2 hours.
Yeah, we talk about fighting celebrities, like which celebrities you think you could take in a fight.
Okay.
And things like that.
I think I could take short Jack.
There's a
celebrities,
lot of storytelling.
like Kevin Hart.
Like the Derelict podcast it started off as like shout out to International Bad Boys podcast, Sam Tripoli and Steve Randolph. Shout out to them. It was really inspired by them. It was a storytelling podcast that turned into a free flow podcast.
I like it. Sam's a good dude, man. I got to
dude.
perform
Big
with
trip.
him one time.
So we got super derailed. Let's go into your
So, and I'll get back to the passion projects. I will, but I
Okay.
had a big realization the other day. When you are just motivated by passion, there are none of the constraints that a normal job has.
Right.
You don't have money to pursue. You don't have security to pursue. And I think you really have to get in touch with your incentives as a human being. One of them is love. One of them is security. And those are the deepest ones. So if I dive fully into taking care of my security, and now I'm getting paid to make videos and have my own business, my belief is that confidence and the way I treat that as a business will influence the passion projects, because I am in a leadership position right now, but I don't have quite the reliability and the seriousness that I would have if I had an LLC after the end of it.
Okay.
Well, who says that?
Yeah.
You?
That's my belief, is that if you focus on look, if I get
here we go.
depressed, I'm not focusing on passion projects. All I'm thinking about to get out of bed is I got to be healthy and I have to have enough money to buy food. So those are the bottom layers of a Maslow style pyramid. But with that, so if I'm focusing on business, now how do I want to escape the business? By working on my passion projects. And I'd be happy to go into kind of
Is it
those
like
goals.
is the business to make money? Like, why do that? Why not just make documentaries?
Because
Why not
the
just
blunt
attack the
fact
documentaries?
is, a lot of people out here are going after stand-up like that, okay? And
Right.
I've seen this model of the guy who goes to the open mics for 10 years, and he's up there every single night. But because there's no incentive structure attached to him, no way to quantify his progress,
Right.
they plateau. Now, the nice thing about a business, and one of the reasons why people find it very easy to show up to a job at 8 a.m. every morning when they would never do that for their creative goals, is because it's linked to their survival. It's linked to their security, and it's linked to their identity as a human being. So if I could do that with passion projects, and I've tried, that would be great. And I hope that the business ultimately gives me more opportunities to get paid for documentary.
Okay.
Can we go into the crazy mode part of this segment?
Yeah.
So,
Crazy mode.
Let's get
all right. So crazy,
haka.
crazy mode. So you're talking about linking survivability to a job because it gives you money to live, to eat, to have shelter. Why don't you be a crazy person and link your creativity to the same thing? You make money at a job. You can't use that money until you get what you needed to get done creatively.
I think
That's
that's
sicko mode. Shout out to Travis Scott.
Oh. So what you're saying is hold my money hostage until I also do the passion projects.
Yes. Sicko mode. Shout out to
I think
Travis
that's
Scott.
a good commitment device, I would say. The way we're breaking it down now is actually we're keeping track of hours.
You're like so proud of yourself.
You're like sicko mode. I think the way I measure that is we keep track of hours, right? So 50% of my time, like every hour I work with my business partner, we have a timer going and we got a little whiteboard, and 50% of those hours should be going to the business, because the business helps the other goals. It makes it easier to not have to work at a restaurant, for example, so that I can spend all of my time around video and telling stories. Whether they're my stories or your stories, it's better than a restaurant.
Right.
So 50% of the time is going to the business, 25% of the time is going to, for lack of a better term, what I call game, playing the game of life, which means getting out in front of people, going on stage, meeting people, making connections, and 25% goes to those passion projects.
All right, how about that? I got an idea. What if your business focus was mostly like these talking head sort of event things where there's money and that's available, but what if you really made a point to make pitches to people that are maybe top real estate agents or somebody that's valuable, that has like kind of a pull, like a social media pull, and you offer them vlogging that has like the documentary style that you want to do creatively.
Yes.
That way you can kind of transfer your business into like more of a focus of like what you're passionate about at least half the time. That way you're not doing this kind of soul sucking commercial film business that you just don't want to do 100% of the time.
I'm not gonna lie.
And I agree that like it's good to have a cash, like multiple incomes and like stuff away from your passion, because that's what I do too. But I think it's good to keep that passion alive and constantly be making these documentaries. And I think you could get paid to make these documentaries even on a smaller level.
Yeah, and I think we have a tier system of payment that speaks to what you're talking about. So if I did a project that I had no passion about, like I invited you to be a part of this Complex Con video coverage project, I'm going to charge them because I'm besides the practice of interviewing and editing and working with clients, that's great experience, but it's not giving me the nurturing soul stuff. If there are other people I want to work with, like we're reaching out to Slightly Stupid, the reggae band right now. I'm reaching out to some other comedians in the area that have done really interesting things. Those benefit me in a different way, because if I charge $200 or no money and they share the video on their social media, I'm being paid to get all that traffic to go to my YouTube. So one of the ways I want to do it is if I'm shooting a video on you, but I'm not charging you and you have a huge audience, I'll just put it on my social media and ask you to share that. Just that way you're paying me with exposure.
It's free work, but it's bartering.
100%
I do that
thing,
100% too.
Like I know a guy, he works at a Nike store. Like he's like bigger than a general manager, but he talks about he comped over $1,000 worth of shoes and things like that, or it's like Foot Locker or something like that. He comped over $1,000 worth of things for Mark Wahlberg, because he knew that if he did that for Mark Wahlberg, he would make a video, put on his Instagram. He's like, hey, I'm at blah 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 right now. I'm at this place right now, and then he knew that was gonna happen. He comped it all, said thank you, made a video. Next thing he knew, made significantly more than the $1,000 back when the store got flooded by people trying to see Mark Wahlberg. I think
it's important too. It's a weird, like I've seen a lot of videos about it. Doing stuff for free kind of waters down the market. So like if you're a filmmaker and you do too many things for free, then people expect filmmaking services for free, which kind of fucks over the business. But I think it's also really, really important to not undervalue like the bartering, like the leverage you get by doing stuff for free with people. Oh, yeah. So if they do have a lot of value that they can provide you down the line, do it for free. Like willingly, no expectations, because you know you might be able to barter something later. But if they can't provide any value to you at all, definitely charge them. Like definitely charge, for sure.
One other slight difference, the videos I do for free, I'm in them. So like a Louis Theroux, I'm the guy that you're following around. I would never do that with a client who is paying me, because that's not what they're paying for. So there's different styles of videos that I can have different incentive structures.
Right,
for sure.
Okay, so what do you want to do? Let's bang out this list.
Yeah, let's do it. So
and then we'll move on to Melvin.
by the end of the year, I want this business to pay my bills.
Nice.
So I think we can do that. The way I added it up, if I'm charging $500 for a video and social media stuff, which is super low in the game, if we do 4 of those
by the end of this year.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Never talk dollar amounts on film, because then you can't up it and down it, and when you actually meet someone.
That?
I'll just do a voiceover. It's like, I'm going to charge $10 billion at all times.
We'll just cut in Mike Myers. Can we just cut in Mike Myers? This is a YouTube, I assume.
Okay, so what else? You want it to pay your you want it to pay your bills
by the end of the month.
By the end of the year.
By the end of the year. Yeah. The second thing I want to do by the end of the year is be living This is a maybe goal, because my apartment, I can Airbnb it. So if I got another rent with another group of creative individuals, I could have very low rent there, benefit from being around creative individuals, and still get the income from my Airbnb.
Oh, man.
And my
That's exactly
second
what
level of goal above security is community, because I think the community is going to unlock me more than I ever could by reading a self-help book on my own.
So sort of
Creative house.
creative house, creative network that you live with.
When we first moved to LA, our goal, like Jackson enticed me to LA with the idea of a fraternity, but of creatives.
Didn't go that well.
It didn't work out how we
Takes a
thought
lot
it
of
would.
planning.
But
The people in charge have to be hardcore
Yeah.
about cleanliness and rules, and it needs to be built on a mission rather than just let's fuck off.
Matt and I do that pretty good now, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get inspired by seeing Matt in the grind. So it really does help to be living with somebody that's actively pursuing their dream.
I mean,
and
to be honest
and going
with
through
you,
the same pain.
I was thinking about
Jay
pitching
Gaius.
you guys on this creative house. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but
I could be down, bro, because I'm living in 2 towns. Like, give me the couch for a cheaper price, and you might be able to help me out.
hey,
I could be down.
I am
Everyone's
looking,
got a price.
I
And then
am
you guys, and
looking
then you
for
guys
a
can
new apartment.
use. You can use my gear and you can use my computer, but I just need cheaper rent
Isn't that amazing?
because I'm only going to be there half time.
Yeah. Let's pool all our resources. I dig it.
I'm
yeah,
down.
we can
I'm
work
in.
something
Okay,
out.
what else?
So number 3, let's talk about passion projects. One of the few things that excites me, because our goal in the short term is to make a video a week.
Got it.
In sort of the
That's
passion,
doable.
in
That's
the passion
consistency,
vein.
though, man.
And to release something every week. So some of our videos can be a short podcast. Some of them can be making it episode. That's the show. That's the documentary show we're producing. Some of it can be short sketches. But get in the habit, so I'm not letting go of the passion side when I'm getting into
I wanted to
business.
talk to you about possibly doing a podcast.
Yeah.
Because you're into comedy and you know a lot of comics. You could do a comedy podcast. You can use my gear. I don't have the time to actually produce it and set it up.
Yeah. that'd
But
be
like
incredible.
you'd have access to my gear for sure if you ever want to do a podcast for yourself too.
I sort of had an idea, and then we flirted around with it, but it's called Common Ground.
Okay.
And I mean, everybody is in their silos politically now. So just taking those super controversial issues. One of the ones we tried was, will Louis C.K. make a comeback? And so I got a hyper feminist who used to like Louis C.K. to
and
talk
you've made
about
these
it.
episodes?
Just one.
Okay.
And we blew the sound out. So, but we still put it out there. But it was an interesting conversation when you go into it with the point of view of let's agree at the end. Let's try to start way over here and find the one thing we agree on.
Dude, that show could get insane.
Oh, yeah. It could be the new Tough Grad.
Yeah,
But
get
you know
like,
what? That's fun.
It is fun. Like get like
That's
a
what people wanna
KKK
see.
member and
Yes!
like a Black Lives Matter member.
Exactly what I was thinking. I'm not
Yeah.
afraid to talk to Richard Sherman or whoever.
That sounds brutal.
Yeah, you can go to Simi Valley and find a racist right now.
Let's get one. Racist!
Shout out to Simi Valley, guys.
That is true. So we're gonna put that down. Find a Simi Valley guy.
Yeah. Maybe the podcast though would be a good one.
You want to do a podcast?
So yeah. I think the podcast. I also did a show called Why Is This the News, where we broke down news from the point of view of why are we talking about this? What underlies it?
How about like in a month you brainstorm a format for that show?
Yeah.
And you just have like a written down structure. So if you wanted to do it, you could.
Yeah, commit to that.
What's the
Especially
show called?
The location. I would say Common Ground. is the
Structure
one.
for common ground.
Yeah, I mean, you offering your stuff up here is incredible because that's kind of what we're lacking. We got the Yeti mics, but we're
Yeah, you got it.
What
bro.
are we
You
gonna
can use
name
it.
your podcast network? Because it's
You
like
have a network now?
yeah, dude. Like
Oh, I could have. I mean, it could just be.
Bare Arms Podcast Network.
Yeah.
Oh, is that-
I like that.
Ooh, don't scare me,
All
boss.
fat, no muscle. Let's go. Okay. Anything else?
So the ultimate goal, and I got into this a little bit when I brought up Hunter and my dad, I want to tell some stories that I've got. I went through a crazy experience with my dad's illness before I moved out here. I went through a crazy experience hearing about these legends in the 1960s. There are areas that I'm interested in that I don't see a lot of coverage for, which lend themselves to short films.
Yeah.
So by next summer, I want to shoot a short film. Specifically, the one I want to start with is a superhero story, but it's about the city that the superheroes exist in, not about the superheroes themselves. So it's about a coffee shop owner who happens to live in a world with superheroes. And I want to shoot that, play that, get some fight choreography in there, learn a ton through the process. And I think every other sketch I'm doing or passion project I'm doing, fictional, is leading into that. A 20 to 40 minute long short that we've produced that can become our calling card when I want to start creating.
Another suggestion: if you have a killer idea for a film, I suggest not saying the premise on the internet.
Where were you 15 seconds
No way.
ago,
Let's
Mel?
challenge the internet, dude.
If you
Make
can-
it. Try and make it better than us. I don't think
I'm
you can.
trying to put on 20
Sure?
pounds of muscle
I don't
and
think
shoot
you
this
can.
thing by myself. I'm not afraid of you guys.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
I
20
don't think
pounds of muscle by next summer is like...
All right, I put it down to 10.
Yeah.
if one of our 200 viewers decides to take that on and steal it from you, props.
Let's go.
Props.
It'll be our ants to your Bug's Life, bitch.
You can't beat us out. We'll
That's
we'll make a
It's
better
our
version.
it's our
That's just the
Armageddon
muse.
versus your Deep Impact. Suck my fucking dick.
All right, so this is what we got for you. This is pretty good. This is the accountability list.
Boom.
Hopefully you can see it on that camera.
If not, it'll be on our website.
Yeah, it'll be on the page notes that I don't have.
The show notes. Here, put mine next to that so you can see it.
All right, dude.
Yep.
All right, cool. We're gonna move over to Melvin.
Mel.
That's a good first segment.
Thanks,
Oh.
man. Thank you for your help,
Oh,
guys.
that's not fun.
All right, let's cut it. We got through Devin. We did it. It's great.
My life
Okay,
is
let's move-
fixed.
Your life is fixed, man. We did it.
dude.
I just gotta live it.
Yeah, dude, you came with some real raw shit.
Thanks, man.
Believe in you.
I believe in you too, Mel.
Okay, let's move on to Melvin. Melvin, the LA producer that can give you everything you want in your life.
All right.
He asks you who you are and what you do. What do you tell him? And do it into this camera.
It's I guess if he asked me, I would just tell him I'm just a guy in LA who's open to opportunity that's just living. And I'm just trying to become the best person I can. And on hopefully every aspect of the word, but I'm just trying to be the best that I can. And it is like, because I came out here not really looking for anything. I just came out here to come out here. Like it's not as I don't have as strong a journey as everyone else when it comes to reasoning for being out here. It's like some people came out just like because they had the need to be an actor. They had a need to be a model. I started doing stand up because I thought it was fun. I like being at bars late at night. I like hanging around broken people, and I like I like being out and about. It's like the Smith song. I like to see people. I want to see life. But yeah, that producer couldn't really do much for me, honestly.
That's beautiful, man.
I think I have the same goals as you, though.
Yeah, man.
I'm just trying to see if there's a way to get paid for that.
yeah,
so you can
I
make
get
your
it.
hobby your job.
Honestly, that's one thing I really want to get into is I want to I actually talked to you about this not too long ago. I want to value money more because it's something that can definitely help you get to, because the hard part is not knowing what your passion is. And it's like not knowing what your passion is, like it can be such a detriment in so many ways. Because it stops performance. It stops drive. Because one thing I've always thought I had, it was grit. But when there's nothing to keep you going, I'm just banging my head against this wall, and then it's kind of like, for what? And it's like,
Well, you love sports, right?
Yeah,
and one
yeah,
of the things
overall.
about sports that you love is when the combine's coming up, everybody's doing the best practices to get that number.
Oh, for
so
sure.
they can get picked for that team.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think you need to figure out what the set of measurements is that you can perform towards.
Yeah.
So that you can live that life in a way that a professional athlete would approach it.
I've honestly, because we were talking about sicko mode earlier. A lot of times I go into sicko mode where I think of crazy shit that I want to do. Like at one point I was looking up professional NFL players' workout plans, like strength and conditioning. I was like, I'm just gonna do that, and then I'm like, for what? Like, so I could be bigger and stronger than everyone else. Like, I don't know, I don't know. I'm trying to find ways not to distract myself from being the happiest person I can be. And if I can find something I like and makes me some money, it'd be cool too. But yeah, it's like I am actively trying to work myself towards caring about money more.
Okay.
But yeah.
And is it just because everybody else is doing it? Is that why you want to pursue
No,
money
it's just,
more?
well, realistically, you're talking about just the brass tacks of it all. It's like legitimately, I'm gonna need money eventually.
Right.
I can live honestly a great life not having much money, but how sustainable is it to keep doing this stuff without it grinding you out? Like nobody wants to be 50 years old with a roommate.
Yeah, that's
It's
for sure.
not fun.
I'd like to have 10 roommates when I'm 50. Maybe I'm a bad example.
Yeah.
I want to live in a village.
Ooh, that'd be fun. commune action.
I'm not a guru, I promise. I'm not a cult leader.
I'm not your guru. But shout out to
Tony Robbins, even though he definitely
fantastic Netflix special. Shout out to Netflix.
Yeah.
Or other sponsors.
Sponsor of the Derelict podcast.
Yeah,
shout out to shout outs, guys.
Look at the web notes.
But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it is. I'm out here like I'm open to opportunity. I really connect with Devin and you because we all did stand up for a while. Mm-hmm. I haven't done much stand up. I haven't done stand up at an open mic that wasn't run by a friend since I've been back in LA.
Dude, I love how much humility it develops in you doing stand up. It gives you so much.
It's just like
feedback.
It's so
you get your ass
brutal,
kicked,
dude.
You get your ass kicked emotionally. It's just the same thing jiu-jitsu does to you physically. It does to you emotionally.
Yeah, it just hurts you. You just put yourself into a social setting and you make, like, if you fuck up, you make 25 people hate you all at once and then grind through that painful experience.
26 because you're the 26th.
Yeah,
well, my mom said I'm hilarious.
Yeah, my roommate said it was good.
Yeah,
You know, since you're not doing stand up, right? And your goal is to basically live the authentic life, which is great because I think the highest art form you can pursue is life itself.
Oh, for sure.
Make your life artistic. But there are ways to quantify that so you get the same feedback you get from a stand up set. You know, maybe it's I want to reach out to 100 people this week. Maybe it's I want to be out every single night amongst the people living with them.
Let's go, dude.
Let's go.
I love sicko mode.
We're just gonna break the structure down. We kind of know what we're doing. Let's just go into it.
We'll jump into the next segment.
No, that's fine.
But after this thought, that's one thing I do is I set a lot of goals for myself, just challenges to push me outside of my comfort zone, just because I love being lazy so much.
Yeah.
I love being comfortable.
That's my default.
Oh man,
sure.
if I could just run around and not have to think and not have to worry about anything all day, every day, my life would be so simple and it could be ignorance is bliss.
Does it hurt you though, like over
Not
months
at all.
of doing it?
That's the difference.
Holy
Because
shit.
I've talked to you about
It
this.
fucking hurts.
Like
me.
you,
I hate myself when I do it for too
when
long.
you think about being normal,
you
you're disgusted by it.
I hate it.
My dad was the same way. I remember he would talk to me about just like being normal is just, it's never been for him.
Yeah.
Like he's just always been like, he's like, that's just not, I would never want that. And for me, I don't, like, honestly, I've thought about this deeply. I've really thought about it, wrote things down, really reflected on my life. And I don't live a normal life by any means. I never have. I don't think I ever will. But I still romanticize a lot of things about being normal. One of my things, you're talking about reaching out to people. I'm terrible at reaching out to people. I have a real weird dynamic with my close ones. Like it's real hard for me to talk to them. So I have to set goals to literally call my mom. I have to set my goal to call my mom once a week.
I think we're with you on that one, probably.
No, I talk to my parents constantly.
Really?
Like,
I'm so bad.
I'm the goal setter too.
Oh man, I cannot. It's really hard for me, and it's like, and it's just I have to set all these goals that make me feel uncomfortable nonstop to just keep myself progressing.
It's so fun because I guess it's just the grass is always green on the other side. Everybody that meets you loves you because you're so your blueprint for life is so different, and you really stand out in the crowd.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit different. I am.
You are, and it's not a bad thing, but it's
weird.
different.
It is.
But you
it's
don't
weird.
value being different because you fucking have it. Like you innately are different. And you stand out,
dude. One of my dreams is legitimately, I want to have a huge Thanksgiving dinner every year. That's the one thing I want more than anything. I might cry. Dude.
You might cry.
I might cry a little bit. Oh, yeah. But I love it. I love the idea of it. I love the idea of having everyone come together for that because it's just something that's so I don't like it's so different.
Well, guess what's coming up right around the corner?
Ooh, yeah, I'm in.
Native American Killing Day.
Yeah, dude, let's do it.
Let's do it.
We'll all just worship something else. We'll just get together. We'll worship like Saturn. Just kidding. We're not Satanists.
Is that the planet they like?
Yeah, dude, the black box.
Everybody likes Saturn.
Watch out, dude. Shout out to San Tripoli, Temple Has Podcast. But
So is that your primary focus though? Is like to feel the love and connection of the people around you? Is that something like a primary pull?
Yes,
for you.
But a more immediate goal is to feel the love and affection for myself.
Okay.
It's a really because like realistically, like it's a beat the shit trope. But but it's you have to love yourself before you can love others.
Yeah.
And it really is a thing. Like you have to really like I don't hate myself. I'm not like unhappy by any means, guys. I'm not gonna kill myself. Shout out to Logic for making a song about it. But
I call that number.
But no, it is. It's one thing. It's about being happy with yourself, and it's about knowing that you are love incarnate. There's no reason that we'd be sentient in this world if we weren't love. Love comes from within, and it's something that it's really easy to say, and it's hard to believe. And that's something I'm working on before. But I do like. Oh wait, ask me what I value. We'll go to that, and then we'll just jump straight into that shit.
No, that's great. Okay, so like we can skip it, but like the next question was, what tactic or habit are you actively doing right now?
Oh wait, no, I thought it was what I want to be known for.
Oh yeah, what do you want to be known for by your friends?
Because I was going to go into
opposed to being
I was going to go into that naturally, but I want to
stick
stick with the structure.
Yeah, let's go through it.
So the one thing that like I'll literally get upset at people when they fucking try to doubt me on this bullshit. But when people try to doubt my loyalty, I'm like, fuck all that. Like I go so hard for loyalty.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm legitimately like once you're in forever, and once you're out forever. Like and that's something I'm trying to work on the outside.
Yeah, I've seen it in person. Once you're out, Melvin lets you know that you're fucking out.
Oh yeah.
Oh god.
He comes at you.
It is one of my other flaws is I'm inherently really like I love conflict. It's like one of my favorite things.
Did you grow up with conflict, or
no? That's a weird thing. It's the opposite.
Maybe that's why I hate conflict.
Yeah. It's the opposite. It's like growing up, like my mom and dad just real mellow, really left me alone. Just let me do my own thing.
Yeah.
I just kind of bored. It's just one of those things that naturally happens.
So loyal. What else?
I want to be known for my loyalty. Bang. I want to be known for to having true grit. So I'm really working on developing it. I'm turning down the shower to cold every day. I shower. It's terrible.
Ugh.
Wim Hof. Shout out to Wim Hof.
It's so brutal.
The cold is your friend.
It's so brutal.
But I really want to be known as like
Loyal.
Yeah, it's like I want to have the ability to pick something and like getting to close as I can to world class within talent, within physical strength. But literally, I just want to pick something like that is it. That's what I do now. I want to be as mentally tough as it gets. Like if you waterboarded me, I would not give up your location. That's how much grit I want to have. I did want to talk to you guys about practicing getting waterboarded
Get
and
back
filming
into
it.
stand-up, bro. That'll build you grit.
Well, I was trying
Yeah,
we're trying to figure out what your thing is going to be that you're going to apply this grit to, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if your path is the spiritual path and not necessarily the path of self-development, my first thought goes to travel.
Yeah.
Like the idea of vagabonding. I know Tim Ferriss always talks about that book, Vagabonding.
Yeah.
And when I traveled for the first time outside of the States, I read it and it really helped me because the idea behind it is you can travel the world forever and pay your way by teaching, by coming up with like hustles.
See, that's a
and you
weird
can
thing.
just do that, connect with people, build a loyal international kind of group.
Yeah, that's the weird thing about me is like I'm not like when it comes to girls that I've hung out with, that I've been like intimate with, that I've dated, you could say how you say dated, but honestly, the majority of them were into travel because I met all these girls in Hawaii for the most part, and they're always like from other places. They're always traveling to other places, and it's something that's just never gotten my dick hard. Like I just don't get off to traveling. It's not for me,
dude. I'm the same way. It's really weird. Like every time I travel, I'm like, I'm really glad I did that, and that was a fulfilling like experience. But like when I think about traveling, I'm just like, yeah,
it's literally like because I know the second I get to another country, this beautiful place, I don't want to see the pyramids. I don't want to see these temples in Bali. I want to hang out at bars and talk to people.
Well, that can be the reason you travel.
Yeah, I'm down.
That's it.
But it'd be a lot cheaper for me to go to Seattle or to go to Philadelphia.
Going to the States is travel. That's one of my short-term goals, is explore this country.
Yeah, just love people, man.
Yeah, I like being around people because most people are flawed and I love their flaws.
Yeah.
Well, you love helping people too. That's something that I've noticed with you is you genuinely get off to helping people.
Well, you too. Like the reason we're both into all these self-help people is because we love reading these life self-help tips, these cheat codes, these life hacks, so we can fucking spit them out at people.
Yeah, and help people, hopefully.
Yeah. And it's like, I was like, oh, you have a problem with that? Oh, blah, 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 blah. Do this. Like, it's like, oh, you want to take the shell off your hard-boiled egg, put it in a mason jar full of water and shake it around and the shell will come off. I saw that on the internet. It was really cool.
Okay, let's try and get through the segment.
All right.
Loyalty, grit, what else?
And my third quality would be the ability to dunk. No.
It was so close.
It would clearly be my level 120 Tauren Warrior. Shout out to my guild, Death of Everyone. I am level 367.
Okay, what?
No, okay.
That's legit, man.
I think something that I really do appreciate about myself that is the ability that I can talk to people, and I do have I think I'm fucking hilarious. Even if those crowds don't. Well, I'm a fucking funny guy. I'm the man.
I second that.
Am I always the most focused, the most driven? No. Am I the best joke writer in the world? No. There are reasons for that because I don't work hard. Right. Because inherently it's way more comfortable to not be creative.
Right.
But that being said, it really is this would be a podcast about me doing comedy if I did comedy, but I fucking don't. And it really is. It shows all the people who go out in there and do it and get their fucking dick eaten off every night and just you just get smoked so hard.
Well, look, the comedians I know, they often don't have the same goals you have. A lot of times they're introverts, and comedy is a way for them to say their thoughts without being interrupted in a group.
It is, surprisingly.
For you, stand-up might not be your goal. It sounds like you're a connector. And there aren't as many jobs that are just connector, but there are definitely life paths where if you build a group of people and help connect them together, you can make that into a whole
no matter
job.
What. I really do. There's nothing in my mind that a lot of people are, especially kids our age, are afraid of the future. And there's never been anything in my life that's ever, I've never thought once that I'm not going to be okay in the future.
Right.
I've never had that doubt in my mind. And it's that's a really common, because I meet girls in bars and I ask them about a lot. It's what are you most scared of in the world? And they always get angry when I tell them it's heights. And some bullshit like that, but
I feel like I have that trait too, but I don't know if it was default by me. It might have just been years of hanging out with you.
Well, honestly, I think a lot of it is we started off in a place people want to end. We started off in Maui.
Right.
Our fallback
is fucking great.
Our fallback is people's retirements.
Yes. Our backup plan to go make $65,000 a year at a fucking restaurant in paradise is sick. Working 35 hours a week. It's dope.
No, it's
so interesting.
If I got a job at the Grand Wailea, I'd make six figures.
Yeah,
being a cocktail server.
It's ridiculous.
It's insane.
Our lives could be so good if we went out there, but we're just...
I like to be challenged.
Yeah.
I like to sometimes honestly, and it's a good and bad. Constantly challenging yourself because sometimes it's not the best.
Yeah.
But and it is. It's I just love to be challenged so much because I don't like the idea of being comfortable.
A man's best at his edge, sort of thing.
Yeah. It's like some people force themselves to be a starving artist just to be a starving artist. I don't like you can fucking have a great day job and just do comedy at night.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But as if you're funny, you're funny. But it's like it's one of those things.
But the
Cool.
problem I had with the challenge thing is if you're just seeking challenges, you want to get the novel challenge every time.
Oh, for sure.
So it's a workout challenge and the stand-up challenge, and you tend to kind of leapfrog from one to the other.
It's progression and things you know you can already do.
Right.
And that's what I find myself doing.
Right.
I give myself dietary challenges because I know I have the grit to do that.
Right.
I give myself workout challenges because I know I can do that already. I give myself I'm starting to like. When I moved to LA, I moved here. One of the big things I told everyone I was gonna be real hippy dippy, so I'm trying to become more spiritual, more emotional. Yeah, I'm out here. Shout out to all the girls I dated that didn't think that I was very open emotionally. I'm here for you guys.
No, that's something I've always noticed about you is like you kind of have this macho character that you put on, but like deep down you do have a lot of spiritual principles that you've picked up over time. And like you're getting uncomfortable just having me say that, but like genuinely
the first thing I wanted to say was I wanted to quote Theo Von was like, man, I just want to fall in love.
Yeah, like you genuinely do, dude. Like you have these, you've always been incredibly objective and you've always been really accepting of people despite them being incredibly fucked up.
Yeah.
And that's something I struggled with in the past where I would go into this victim mentality and this guy's a dickhead doing this to me. But you're like, no, man, look at it like this. He's just flawed in this certain way. But like you've always had that acceptance that a lot of people struggle to get. Like you inherently are very accepting of almost everybody.
Yeah, I think, well, it's a thing. Like growing up, we all know a bunch of people either in our families or shithead Steves. I know all my friends in Maui are fucking a bunch of shitheads.
Yeah.
So like they were constantly doing the wrong thing, and it's one of those things. It's like I'm just like, dude, you're my fucking buddy, and I'm gonna love you no matter what. And that's just something I've always said. Like like I said, loyalty. If you're in, you're in, and it's just how it is.
Yeah.
And I just Well, that's how I'm with a lot of things. Like I'm just like if I give myself a die, I'm like, well, fuck, that's my life now. That's it. I was like, well, I really want to eat that donut, but can't do it.
Yeah. Anyways, so let's go into a tactic or something that you've been using that you wanted to share with the group, like like a life hack that you think is fun.
Like little things that help me out in life.
Just one.
One thing that really helps me out is one thing I actually started recently. I'm going to another one. All right.
There's so many.
Yeah. We all watch the same. Like we have so many fucking little tips and tricks.
Yeah.
Is that one thing I do is just at the end of every day, I write a to-do list for the next day. It's usually like 2 or 3 things, not too many. I have a to-do list for the month and I have to-do lists daily. And I just try to knock them all out. And sometimes I don't do it.
Right.
And that's okay because failure is all right. And so you can't beat yourself up on those things. But it's if you have a plan, you don't end up masturbating all day, or just not even raiding with your guild, just hanging out and org on your mount so you look real cool.
It's the simplest and most effective fucking life hack.
Easy.
It's like I forgot who, I think it was Henry Ford or somebody got that tactic for his business and he had everybody do it and it just upped his productivity throughout the business profoundly that he was
Henry Ford?
I think it's Ford. I might be misquoting.
Well, Henry Ford, he's the reason Honda is so got so big because he a lot of people from Honda either were mentored by Ford or Ford worked with them, one or the other.
Right.
And then these Japanese people believed in this thing called Kaizen, which is like slowly getting better over time. And so they took the ingenuity of Ford and they took the work ethic and the Kaizen mentality of Japan and made the cars that everyone owns. Honda Civics all day. But
I got one. Hatchback.
Yeah, dude, makes sense.
Looks aggressive.
Oh, very aggressive.
It's an aggressive mom car.
I'm not gonna lie. If I looked at that car at night, I would be afraid to be in a dark alley.
If you see me at a red light, just know I'm gonna take that econ mode off, and I'm gonna
sicko
dust
mode
your
on.
ass. Yeah, sicko mode on.
And shout out to Van Mendoza's metal cover of Sicko Mode.
It's so deep.
um,
Okay, so how much time do we have? We might have to reset the camera.
Kaizen.
Let's reset the camera, and then we're going to go into what you're struggling with and get you some accountability stuff. Cool. So where were we? We're going to go through what you're struggling with. And you mentioned it briefly. You said that you're struggling with like wanting to care about money.
Oh, guy, I'm struggling with a lot of things. Like,
Well, if we're
going to go with care about money, that's like when Tony Robbins asked that woman what she's struggling with, and she said dietary issues when she really wanted a better relationship with her father.
Yeah.
Like,
well, we don't have a Tony Robbins in the room, so you're going to have to try to bring it out to the best of your ability.
Okay, realistically, I think my biggest challenge, like, one, was caring about money, for sure.
Right.
But that's I feel like that's an element of the sickness. And the sickness is me distracting myself on purpose.
Right.
Purposely, I was talking to you about this earlier on the phone, and it got me going. It's like you know when you're a little kid and you're playing a game and you lose and you're like, I'm not even trying anyway. Mm-hmm. But it's like we all like just not on purpose. We do this to ourselves, and we find ways to stop ourselves from being the best person we can be, and from giving our best shot to everything we do, and to actually going out and trying and doing. And that's a big problem I have personally, is with distractions. Like whether it be because I've done it, like because I can't blame it on one thing. Like my distractions, it's not video games, it's not TV, it's not social media, it's not food, it's not going out with people. My distractions is me. I'm it.
Well, I notice I keep bringing up this same point, and I see it kind of going over or around you a little bit, not really landing. But in order to not get distracted with the next goal, which you can achieve 20% of and then move on to the next one without fully conquering anything or really getting that deep sense of satisfaction and wholeness, you need metrics associated with what you're doing.
One of the cameras died, sorry.
Oh, yeah. It was I'll just talk about this anyway. But that's why I want to make my game.
So you were talking about a slightly higher metric every single time.
Yes, it'd be like I'll gain levels, I'll gain experience through doing things, and which in turn give me levels, and then to get to the next level, I'll need more experience to get to that level.
Are we still going? Okay, so basically what you're talking about is something I've thought about a lot, which is turning your life into a video game.
I'm turning my life into RPG.
Yes. Basically. So if you can spend 80 hours raiding and not spend 80 hours pursuing connections in a more meaningful, lasting way, then you have to turn pursuing connections into a video game.
I'm not going to lie to you. Doing that is in the category of #sicko mode. But because because like, this was my plan. I was going to have categories which correspond to levels, and experience, which would be like, for example, strength would be a category. Every hour spent at the gym gives me one experience. In the beginning, 10 experience points gets you a level. Mm-hmm. After that, it'd be, say, 15 points. Then it'd be 22. Then it'd be 38.
And there should be a reward at each step. New armor.
Well, not every step, but every couple levels. Like I would say, my initial plan was every 5 levels, I'll give myself something that corresponds with that category. So with strength, when I hit level 5, I would buy myself weightlifting shoes. Hit level 10, I buy myself a new powerlifting belt. By level 15, I get a membership to a powerlifting themed gym. But that being said, because there is an exponent, this is kind of boring. It's going to get the numbers, but because the levels get bigger and bigger, because it's not a linear progression. It's getting slightly bigger every time. Mm-hmm. You have to have bonuses. So you have to have weeks where I would put a bunch of categories in a jar, and every week I'll pull a category. And if it's strength week, I get bonus points on strength. So every hour in the gym is 2 experiences.
I like this.
And there's also bonuses when I hit a PR. Like when I have like pretty soon I'm gonna hit a 405 squat and 405 deadlift.
Wow.
When I hit those, I'm sick. When I hit those,
why am I so weak?
Well, if you don't value powerlifting, like I don't know why you'd want to fucking lift 4 plates.
I lift a lot of weights, but I've never been able to lift that much.
Yeah.
You've got something going on.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's one of those things. Like I said, it's like
Bottom heavy, bro.
Yeah. Look at these things, dude. I got so much testosterone. I'm balding, bro.
It's all you, dog.
It's all me.
Tell girls that. Oh, this balding shows how manly I am.
I'm telling you, it's a thing, man. High testosterone levels correlates with balding, back hair, and acne. That's why when you take anabolic steroids, those things happen to you. The ball shrinking, not so much. That's a side vibe.
The rage
too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm also gonna have bonuses. So like, so when you hit a PR, like not any PR, but like hitting 4 plates. You get a big boost. You get like plus 10 points experience. Like
so you're doing all this. You're doing all this to make like the progression of life really fun for you.
It makes it. I can see the progression.
Right.
Because my problem with sticking with things, my stick-to-itiveness with a lot of things, is not being able to see the progression. Like we were talking about earlier with comedy, is you could be doing comedy, and of course you can. Nobody actually logs their total stage time. No normal person does that. Yeah. If I were to do that, my charisma level would go up through total minutes.
I've got a question.
25 minutes, I get a point.
I got a question. So like, here's the thing. Like, you have the grit. Clearly, you're a funny guy. Clearly, you have this obsession with progression.
You just say I'm the man. That's fine.
So you're basically the man, but like you don't stick to things.
No.
And what it seems like you have is this deep love to being connected to other people, and you don't want to be significant. You don't want to stand out. And the question I want to ask is
I want to be significant to people.
Right.
That's like, I don't care if the world knows who I am.
Okay.
I don't care about being on a Mount Rushmore of anything. Like, I want the people in my life to know that I'm there for them and that I love them no matter what.
I mean, here's the question though, is there a fear of success possibly underlying every time you attack something, because you know that it'll create this disconnect between you and the people that you love?
I'm going to say no, but there very well could be.
The fear of success actually works because you have to adopt more responsibility in order to continue that success. So when you open yourself up to being the best stand-up comedian, now there's a commitment attached to that. It might get in the way of your relationships in your mind.
I'm not going to lie to you guys. My main reason, that could be the deep-seated reason for not wanting to do it. But that being said, my main reason for not wanting to do stand-up comedy is I just don't have a car. It's just really shitty to catch the bus to go to open mics.
Well, that's why you need that money.
Yeah, it really sucks. Yeah, that's why I need money.
But you could get a car.
I could drive.
I could. I can
go out with you. I can go out with you 3 to 5 times a week if you want to. I go out with Oliver. We can pick you up.
I'm down.
We'll pick the open mics based on what's near you.
I'm for everybody who doesn't do stand-up comedy. These are the hard parts of stand-up comedy. 1, dealing with the emotional turmoil of bombing in front of people. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen a lot. 2, getting to and from open mics. 3, getting to open mics and not getting called up. 4, actually sitting down and treating it like a job and writing material. Like sitting down and giving an hour or 2 to write new material is one of the hardest things to do. Because it's like being creative on brand. Like it's not something I can do. Like I can, don't get me wrong. Anyone can sit down and I can just do it. But it's like literally when I would go do comedy, I would write premises down and I just fuck around up there and see what happens to see what's stuck.
There's a strategy for that too. It's the only important thing is that you get up there.
Exactly, it is. It's getting through the door.
Yeah.
I mean, I keep going back to like maybe it's a fear of success because like you've been talking about possibly getting a car for a little while now, but like there's something there that makes you not want to do it because there's the added financial responsibility, there's the added insurance, and like responsibility is something that you don't want.
Oh, not at all. That's why I'm a waiter and hanging out in LA and not doing anything.
Right. So responsibility, it can in the right ways, it can give you freedom.
It's a thing. Like I love comfort so much, and I'm not saying any of that isn't true. Like realistically, I might just be focusing on not wanting responsibility because of comfort, because I'm afraid to look at this big monster that it's me being afraid of success. But that being said, I am pretty far from success right now, so I don't think that's it yet. But it very well could be. I'm not denying its existence. I'm just saying it might not be it yet. But
Okay, cool.
I just need to actually pick something to be passionate about.
That's a nice segue.
Pick something you're passionate about.
You need some accountability goals.
Wait, like accountability?
All right, Melvin, let's do some accountability.
All right, sluts, let's do this.
I am a slut.
All right, what do
When you
you
break it down.
Things I can do?
what should you do? What do you want to do?
Can we all? All right, let's all go in a
We
circle
can-
and pick one.
For you?
Yeah.
Well,
So
I
you
want
start it on.
to. I think you have to start getting in touch with your why, because you asked other
Yes.
people their why.
Yes.
So I think you should do
Pick
this.
up. I spend so much time journaling at Coffee Bean across from the place that I work, which will not be named. I
The place where I was fired for
Can
putting
I got
onions in
one.
my eggs.
I got
I
one. Can
literally
I start?
sit there, like I show up an hour early to work, and I sit there and I drink cold brew coffee to the point where I think my heart's gonna explode, and I sit around and I think about, I have emotional roadmaps of situations that I think about, and I think about how I felt at each moment of that situation, why I felt that way, and like what am I afraid of, and the root of that fear. So I'll have moments that I had, I'll go through all 7 emotions that I felt that night, and I'll go through what was going in my head and also write down what was going through other people's heads. Because a lot of my problems come from conflict too. So it comes from me talking to people, and it's like, this is how I probably came off. I'm only gonna write down what they saw, and then I'm gonna write down what happened in my head and how it came out wasn't the right thing. It just didn't work.
So you're good at avoiding conflict, but not as good at identifying what you're moving towards.
When's the last time you added responsibility to your life, like knowingly and on purpose?
I bought health insurance. I bought the wrong health insurance, actually. It's only catastrophic health insurance. And I found out we don't even need health insurance anymore because Donald Trump took that out. So I'm going to cancel my health insurance.
That's actually really good news for me. I was worried about that.
Yeah, apparently that's the thing. Like we won't get penalized for not having health insurance anymore. So I'm just not going to have it.
That's great.
I literally had it for a month. So that was the last time I did that.
Do you want a car?
No.
No. Okay.
I'm not like, that's the thing. I don't want a car until I need one.
Okay.
But think about how many hours you spend on that bus getting to
That's
the
true.
place that will not be named.
To be fair, in a car, don't take much time. I Uber, and it's about the same time.
Okay.
If I had a car, it wouldn't be for going to work.
I've thought about going the Uber route. I mean, it's a tougher
the
city to
shit.
do it in, but you can do it, but it will make it harder for you to get out of the house. And it's already very hard for you to get over that starting anxiety. So it might be something to think about.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like, and that, well, that's another thing too. It's gonna be wrong popular opinion because I love comedy. It might not be for me.
Sure.
It might not be my thing, but I'm down to do it. I like doing it.
Your thing is other people. You just need to realize that about yourself.
It is.
And you can do
I
that
don't
at
know
a
what
higher level than you're doing it right now. And wouldn't that be better?
Yeah, I'm down. I want to do anything that makes me bigger, faster, stronger, and a better person. And
For other people.
yeah, for myself too. First and foremost, let's be real. The number one thing I want is for this light from within, for me to actually believe it. For me to love myself no matter what, and no matter who is around.
And challenges give you that.
I want to be so happy that I could be in solitary confinement, and I would be all right.
Yeah.
I would accept the
Count of Monte Cristo.
I would be able to accept the world around me and still be happy.
What's some shit you've put off in the last 2 years?
I haven't set up my Wi-Fi for 6 months.
All right, here you go. Set up your fucking Wi-Fi. You got 2 weeks. Set up your fucking Wi-Fi.
Yeah. I still haven't set up my Wi-Fi.
All right, set up your Wi-Fi. 2-week goal. What else?
That's such a small thing.
It doesn't
to slow down.
fucking matter, dog. Break the ice.
And then, all right, cool. And then you guys give me that too. It'll be. It's honestly more helpful if you have it from someone else's point of view, because my point of view is going to be. I won't want to do anything too difficult because I'm afraid of the pain of failing. So that will shroud my decision-making skills when it comes to picking.
Well, here's how it would help you. And I've met a lot of people like you who don't know what they want yet. you need to think about what you do when no one's watching, and think about what you do that's giving you a feeling of euphoria.
Masturbate.
Okay. If masturbation still gives you euphoria, big ups.
You said you wanted a longtime girlfriend at some point, possibly.
I do.
It's hard to get that without a car.
Whoa. Is that a thing?
It's harder, bro. It's harder.
Can we see the statistics on that?
I might be wrong, but having a car is something that's really attractive.
Yeah.
Honestly,
In a man that has direction in life, that a girl respects, they have a car so they can control that part of their life.
I think I'm a catch, but there are a lot of things that society
How about you just take the what if you take the fucking classes for a car?
Driver's ed. I'm down, dude.
Driver's ed?
Yeah, dude, I'll take some driver's ed classes. I gotta find time though. I gotta quit my job for that. All right, respect. I'll quit my job. Is that what you're saying?
Quit your job, do driver's ed. Is that too insane?
All right. Is that sicko mode?
Is that sicko mode? Is that like me giving advice that seems unreasonable?
Quitting your job would just put you squarely in the category you're already in, which is you want money, but you're not doing anything to get it.
These are the baby steps. Like having a car helps you get more money.
Honestly,
you can get more money down the line by taking a step back.
My quality of living will be better if I have a car. I've been putting it off forever because it's not normal for someone to be my age, like 27, not have a car. That's not like the most common thing. But yeah, like I said, a lot of things about me are uncommon. It's weird. I tell a lot of stories about like doing things. People are like, what the fuck? Like, that's not normal at all. I'm like, oh, I thought it was just funny.
So maybe, be less normal. But
so that's it.
Yeah.
We got Wi-Fi, driver's ed, get a car.
Yeah.
Which is pretty that's tough because you have to lose a job to get a car.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to lose that job to take driver's ed. Can't you take driver's ed online?
Can I?
I don't know.
I put 0. Everyone knows how to drive already. I'm the only one that like I can drive. I'm just awful. I'm terrible at driving. Yeah.
I'm sure you could figure it out, man.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could figure it out.
Yeah.
Wow, this is fascinating. You grew up with abundance. Fruit falling from trees, beautiful peachy booties walking in front of you, sunlight all day long, and now you have no drive.
Yeah, man.
You're just always good. So when it comes time to figure out what direction you want to move in, you're just like, I'll see what happens. I'll see what other people say.
Yeah, I like
go with the flow.
Progression for progression's sake. There's no there's nothing eating my insides for that. Like, if there anything that would like kill me on the inside, it would be like wanting to have like relationships with people and like wanting like people to know I love them and like to be loved and to love and to have people around me. That's really like what I want.
So you have to become somebody reliable. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Reliable and hilarious and unique in all the ways you already are, but the reliable part is the one that's atrophied.
That is one thing that definitely won't hurt if I become more responsible.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, I mean, that's kind of like what I think the focus should be is like that fear of responsibility.
Yeah.
Attack that, man.
All right, let's go in that direction.
What else could you do that would make you more responsible? Even though, like, it's good because it's contrary action, which means you have to grow because you don't want to do it, even though it's probably a good thing.
Yeah, that's always the compass.
What are other responsible things?
Don't quit your job because that's a responsibility that you have right now. I would say take on projects. Like, we're going to be working on projects if you can get involved with them. I would also say going out and meeting people and taking responsibility for your desire to connect with other people. Instead of just waiting for it to happen, go make it happen. And you can do that just by going out in front of people and being with the people every day.
All right. Then give me a number of Facebook friends to gain.
Oh, I like that.
In how long?
I don't know. What was it? 2 weeks is my Wi-Fi thing?
Let's do 2 weeks.
Let's go, sluts.
I'll be there with you.
How many people want me out on Facebook? I'll fucking get them right now.
We'll pick a number that feels just on the edge of your comfort zone. More than you can do, but less than you can't do.
I don't know. Like, fucking 12? Is 12 a lot? Is that a lot of people?
I would say more.
It's such a weird thing to gauge.
I know, it's just
you could get 12 in
this
one
goes
night.
silly. I like it, but it's silly. I don't know if it's
quantifiable. You know?
It's quantifiable. That's exactly it. But I just gotta go. I gotta make friends.
But like,
it counts approaches.
What
basically.
would you regret never doing, like on your deathbed? Like, what would you regret? Like a nagging.
The number one thing that people say on their deathbed is I worked too much. So I assume that's it.
all right, you're good. let's go home.
No, I don't know.
No, for you personally.
It's namely that they work too much and it got in the way of spending time with loved ones.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
So it's like, I don't know, like one thing on my deathbed, like I really am, for the most part, in the hokahe mindset where it is. It's just like, if I died tomorrow, I hope everyone knows that I love them, and I'd be okay. And that's it. That's all. That's the only, like, if I were to die today, the only thing I want people to know is that if I loved you, that I loved you. And that's it. That's the only thing I can think of. That's the only thing like, if people didn't know that, that's the only thing I could regret.
Is there anybody you haven't said that to?
Everyone.
There you go.
Every person in my life.
Maybe
it's like AA.
Maybe reach out. Start reaching out. Like,
that's a hard one.
How about 5 people a week you text and say, hey man, I was just thinking about you. This seems weird, but I just want to see how you're doing.
Yeah, sounds super hard. That's harder than all the other ones.
There you go, 5.
Can we do the 12 Facebook friends too, though? Because I want to help you get
That's stupid. 5
Okay.
reach outs a week.
I'll just do that as a side thing.
We'll do that on our own. That's our little thing.
The Devin Greene development
One of my
team.
kids.
Emotional
It's that one, I
development.
think. Yeah.
Alright, sounds good to me.
One of the cameras died, and then we'll just kind of do this last.
How do you turn?
Just turn it off and turn it on.
Is it this one?
Yeah, turn the thing off, turn it on, and then you have to hit the red button on the right.
I think you are enlightened, but
I'm trying. No, like legit, it's such a hard
but there's
thing
another
for
part
me.
of the personality that wants to strive,
Yeah.
to be okay and to strive. That's you got that one balance.
Yeah,
there.
like,
I'm in TSC.
Yeah, hit the enter
I'm
button
in a-
down below
like, I'm
on the
in a
bottom
place
right.
where it's like, I don't.
Just hit enter, the center button,
I really don't get afraid of the future.
and then hit that.
Like it's such a weird thing because a lot of people strive for careers and money and all these things because they want to be comfortable later on. They want to be safe at a later point in their life.
Right.
They want to take the risks when they're young, so when they're old they can just do nothing but bear the fruit of their fucking. They plant these fucking trees when they're 10.
I don't
and
know.
eat all the fruit when they're old.
I don't want to retire. I think it's fucking
Never.
lame. I think it's lame. But okay,
Damn,
What would you guys do if you guys had like unlimited money?
the same shit probably. I
Like,
like
literally,
I like
that's a
feeling.
great question.
I would do jujitsu. I would lift weights, and I'd probably get a side job waiting tables because I had nothing to do.
No, exactly. Retirement. This idea of like sitting on a beach with a margarita. It's like I forgot who was talking about it. He
Maybe
said,
I'd travel because I have the money.
"How many margaritas? At what point are you gonna feel like sunburnt and bloated and fucking hate that you're on a beach drinking margaritas?" Like,
I've had many good times on the beach drinking a margarita.
Doesn't seem to be a limit.
There's definitely a limit. If you
If you have them all one night.
like if you're so drunk you try to put your arm around a girl and you can't put your arm all the way around her, then it might be a little bit too much.
Nice. Need skinnier girls, man.
Well, fuck, dude. Sometimes when you're hammered,
Bean poles.
yeah, if you're hammered, man, you just not fine.
Can't reach my arm around you.
all right, I've got a couple things that I added here.
I'm gonna add my own Facebook thing later.
Okay, so here we go.
I'm in. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
You guys all wanna, you too, Matt. You guys wanna make as many Facebook friends as we can.
Let's try it.
Let's all start this way.
Let's have a competition.
Oh, let's go! Sober October fucking competition. Facebook.
All right, here you go, man. We got it. Set up your Wi-Fi. You got 2 weeks to do that. Look into driver's ed. Get a car eventually. 5 reach outs a week. Text the people you care about that on your deathbed you would regret them not knowing that you love them, and tell them like, "Hey, I was thinking about you." I think one of the cameras just died again. This fucking sucks. Anyways, tell them that you care about them and that you wanted them to know that eventually in the conversation. Mm-hmm. Just like, "Hey, I was thinking about you. Hope you're good. Hope everything's good." And just reach out and eventually say like, "Yeah, I just care about you, dude, and wanted to fucking know how you're doing."
Oh,
Which will be
gross.
Yeah, it'll be really uncomfortable for you, which is dope. And
If
the
you
last
told
one,
me that, it would be beautiful. So.
and then the last one for you that I wrote down is do one selfless act a week. Do one thing for somebody else, just to do it for them. Like think of somebody who's like in need and do something fucking nice for them. Even if it's like writing your mom a card or something fucking super silly, or pay for the food of a friend that you care about, which would probably be easier. Do something selfless for somebody else.
All right, cool.
And that's all I got. Anything else you want to do, or?
What comes to mind when you think of selfless acts? Because that needs to be specified.
There's no fucking like thing is like completely selfless acts, because if you pay for someone's food, you're gonna feel good about it.
Yeah.
It's not like pure altruism.
I'm still on the email list for Big Sunday. I can just go do
something small for somebody.
Charity real quick.
Yeah,
I mean, if you want a buddy for that, I'll go.
Oh yeah, I can find one. I get emails all the time.
I'm looking for something like that.
I'm down.
All right.
Yeah, I'm down. Fucking. All right.
Cool, man. I think we covered it all.
For gross.
I want to thank you guys for being on the podcast, dude.
Thank you.
You can follow us on, what is it? You May Be Right Mastermind Group on Instagram and Facebook. Do you guys have any plugs that you want to throw in there?
I want people to know. Look up Melvin Correa on Facebook. Add me on Facebook. I'll accept all your friendship ads.
Right on.
Don't count those as the 12. Though.
Anything for you? any plugs?
Yeah, you can check out my videos at youtube.com/teamfriendship. I'm on Instagram at DevinPG, and those are probably the best ways to reach me.
I'm gonna plug my guild. World of Warcraft. We're on the server Terralion. It's a U.S. server. It's a Death of Everyone is our guild. If you play World of Warcraft and you want to play with me, add Westside Ox. Add Westside Ox. I'm on Terralion. Death of Everybody.
One more plug. Follow the No Shill Zone on YouTube and Instagram. It's a cryptocurrency YouTube channel. And that's it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Yeah, can we end with the clap?
Yeah. You should always end with a clap. I don't know why you wouldn't.